welcome all to the annual meeting for the Old Greenwich Association. Oh, the speaker's Candace. Okay. We're going to kick off with the most important and most fun part of the evening and reversing it entirely. My favorite, the Old Greenwich Award. So, we brought it back, as you know, and it's great. We have a long list of amazing people. Let me see if we can get to all of them in due time. But today is one person's turn, and she is Candace. Garthwaite. So Fred is here for you. I think he just stepped out for a second, but Fred is here for you. Because of course he has a proclamation. Oh, because today is your day. Today is your day. Yeah, today is my day. I woke up. Today is your day. And it's like, what? It is my day. She's feeling it was your day? Well, it was a bit of a surprise. Well, we're thrilled. We're thrilled. And everybody knows how deserving Candace is. And just as a reminder, not in a particular order, but Candace has made significant contributions to the Old Greenwich community for decades, including advocating for needed flood mitigation. She's helped lead the effort to designate Northern Vinnie Pond and part of Sound Beach Avenue as a scenic road, and was the driving force in pushing it through the extensive town approval process. Thank you. Right. Candace has also worked tirelessly to have Old Greenwich proclaimed as a village district, which will help preserve the character of Old Greenwich's beloved downtown. Along with Michael Carter, asterisk. Yes, tonight. Yes. Okay, but he's happy that we're here. Candace also has served as a member of the representative town meeting representing Old Greenwich in District 6, beginning in 2012 through 2021. And during Candace's time on the RTM, she served as the chair of District 6 for 4 years and also served as the chair of the Appointments Committee, where she used her professional background to evaluate residents for placement on various town boards and commissions. So, Fred is proclaiming today the Candace Garthwaite Day, since he has a plaque to you. And Victoria, where are you? We have 2 flowers. Get ready for song. Here's Did you want to say anything? You don't have to. I feel well. I shall.
Thank you, everyone. Is loud enough? I am an introvert, and so it's a little hard for me to have spotlight. And as you all know, any of those things described take a partner, a team, and pardon the pun of sorts, it takes a village to really make things happen. And I guess I was thinking about this today, and it's like, well, how do I end up doing these things? and I know myself that if it's something I really care about, and I sense there's a void, or I'm told there's a void, I will step in. And so I do that. And it really is, it's really great for me. And it's such a learning experience to work with such wonderful people over the course of all these various experiences and the projects that we worked on, through all the obstacles and the challenges. And, you know, the outcomes have been great. So I want to thank all of you for all your support and for this award. Thank you.
Trade please.
Check license. Good evening, everybody. I have a proclamation to read. As you heard, it's Candace Garthwaite, Greenwich, Connecticut. And I just want to salute you for not only being one of Old Greenwich's greatest volunteers, but also being one of the best pickleball advocates.
On the way.
So, but thank you. It was a pleasure working with you a few years ago about the scenic roof destination. You were determined to get that grade. You're a great advocate. You really were. So it's a pleasure working with you.
And but we read it.
You read the whole thing?
We read it.
Oh, perfect.
Sorry, you weren't in the room.
Oh, perfect. I was out there with Paul. Sorry. But anyway, it is Candace Garthwaite Day. Congratulations. And best of luck in all your future endeavors.
You friends. For me, you wanted to say a few things?
Yeah, sure. Just a quick update. Tomorrow night, I'm presenting the budget, and I put in phase 2 for the sidewalks over at South Beach. You should know that's been super popular and very well used. So hopefully we can get finance for it to agree with us that to get phase 2 done. And then also, I know you're contemplating, like we did over at Bruce Park, to protect Vinnie Park, and I know Peter's going to talk about that. Just a word to Andrew Malillo's here, to really lean on them and work with them. Andrew Malillo, Stephen Bishop of the Historic District Commission. I know when the people at Bruce Park came over to me, they were concerned about protecting the mosquito bar in there. And I said, why don't you do it? You know, people don't manage to try to get that scenic route on the make it for the whole park. And they did. And they worked with HDC. And I know they have to follow guidelines, so it's not a guarantee, but certainly you have great partners there. So count on my support for that. Vinnie Park is a treasure, as is Bruce Park. So that's it for me, unless you have any questions. Perfect. It's a good crowd. Thank you.
So wonderful, you can all go. Yes. Okay. So we'll make this quick. We have business because we have to vote it before. We had some people that gave us their time in April. We only have 2 new people that you should be introduced to that.
Right.
And I just wanted to make a word about these people. So Tiffany Forbes, do you mind standing up? Sorry. So Tiffany is joining us. She's a resident of Hillcrest Park. TV show. Okay. Resident of Hillcrest Park, have been relocated from the Bahamas with her husband and 2 children who are at Eastern and high school. And she's currently serving on the board of Greenwich Free Press already. So welcome, Tiffany. And I don't know if Sarah made it tonight. She's old people. So Sarah Alter is also joining us. She's a parent of 2 children at OGS. And she's the owner, this is important, she's the owner of a consultancy where she's a brand builder, creative director, business educator, and strategic advisor. She's a lot of things. She is definitely somebody that helped us brainstorm together towards our new mission, which is a reveal tonight and fun, and we'll hopefully really work to help us engage with one another. So we thank Sarah and her both Tiffany and Sarah in it. You'll have them.
Sure.
So,
okay, welcome everyone. Yeah, so this is my name is Mark Cray. I'm the secretary, and just go for this quick business, and we'll get to the more interesting stuff. But for our bylaws stipulate that the members elect directors at an annual meeting by a simple majority of those present. The size of the board is not less than 7 nor more than 21. For the director shall be president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. And we want to thank outgoing board members for their service to the OGA, Alison Barlow, and Michelle Watt. And so our officer slate, again, Caroline Peterson, president, Victoria Martin Young, vice president, Alan J. treasurer, Alexis Bulgaris, secretary. Take care for me. Thank you for doing that. And going on.
And coming back.
And coming back as well. Yeah, she's our secretary now. Thank you. And board members, Sarah Alter, me, Mark Ducray, Tiffany Forbes, Amanda Bates-Goodrone, Ryan Swan Hackett, Larry Brocano, Erica Jacoby, Dave Johnson, Ed Mortimer, Matt McCabe, Joanne O'Hare, and Darren Schneider. So as secretary, I'd open the floor for any other nominations. Hearing none, I make a motion to close nominations and elect the proposed slate of candidates.
Somebody please say so moved.
So moved. So moved. Is there a second? Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? No one. Great. So congratulations to slate. Thank you.
And we have to thank Mark. You know, Mark is volunteering a century, and we couldn't do it. Well, we're not going to. Mark staying on, but he's giving the title to Alexis. So we thank you for everything, Mark.
Thank you.
Happily still on the board. So we did that business, and that means the mission. Okay, So we sat with Sarah, the executive board, and we said, we need more engagement. It's all this for a few years and we're trying. And we haven't really done it, which is fine. We're here for you. We're showing up. We've got a lot of great partners and we're communicating, we're answering questions, but I'm not sure, we didn't think we were engaging in a way that we could. So we brainstormed and we came up with a new mission, which is rather than preserving our community, which was wonderful and true, but a little esoteric, and we'll put a finger on that, we are going to support, connect, and inspire Old Greenwich through community building events, local resources, and meaningful initiatives that make a difference. That's real, right? So thank you to Sarah for helping us find our words and bring it all together. So we have now created arguably sort of 4 committees. Any and all of these things is where now you can say to yourself, oh, I can do something with the OGA because I'm going to dig into that. And that's what I like to do. Everybody can help. You don't have to be a named person. So they are the 4 things you're reading: community service, local resource guides, community speaker series, and family-friendly gatherings. If I haven't lost you to the slide, and keeping it short and sweet, thanks to Alexis and her work at the book drive over at the Dump. I'm not supposed to say the Dump. Can I say the Dump? At the transfer center. Thanks to Alexis, and thank you to Jen Bird of Athena, we are going to our book drives. And if we got this down, we're going to do it every year, right? We're going to use the kids and volunteers and all sorts. And so we are going to do a book drive and bring that to the side of town with Athena, which is gorgeous. And, that's going to help underserved schools and programs, not only in Greenwich, but our surrounding neighbors. And it's a wonderful, important thing that reaches not only into schools, but also into juvenile detention centers, Title I schools. And then I could get teary. Wonderful. Thank you to Alexis for bringing that idea forward. And now we can latch onto that. So 4 of us are ahead on that. Anyone want to join in? Email, call, or tell us after. The local, so I'm going to keep trying to go quicker, but I love all that. Local resources guide. We're going to get online and hopefully be the source we've been talking about wanting to be. If you need to find babysitters or know about your local events, service providers, we're going to start to put that up. So send those ideas along. We're going to curate that. Community speaker series. Amazing. The talent that we have in our community, and what was your other life and what do you do now? And we're going to find those people and bring them forward and give opportunities to engage. So that's really cool. And if you want to speak to the community, let us know. Always will find you. And then family-friendly gatherings, as it sounds, really fun, purposeful ways to bring the community together. So I think that's really actionable, and we're really excited. So that is the change of our mission and how we're going to do it. That's a class. Very important, family-friendly, everything that's good about our world is Live Like This on April 26th. Carrie asked me to remind you guys, and we'll keep talking about it more and more, and we're all going to be there on April 26th for her and for Lee on family. And before we get to our speakers, Alan has to tell you about some money. Alan, our treasurer. We need to be responsible and tell you the donations we have over time. Yes, you can see.
All right.
We've actually done really well on Instagram out of nowhere, but we still need more. So that engagement's important. Sorry, I'm glossing over that.
No, it's fair enough.
Is it Alan's turn?
It's Alex's turn. Yep. Actually, you.
Okay, everybody, can you hear me?
Yes.
Carolyn asked me to briefly talk about our cost structure, and it is going to be brief because there's not much to it. We're an all-volunteer board, and our total operating expenses composed of basically 4 things: D&O insurance, post office box rental, website management, and state and federal filings. It totaled $1,800 in 2024. Not a big nut. Now, our mission, and we've got a lot of events and initiatives that we want to enact and really improve and give back to the community. To facilitate that, I am very happy to announce that we are now a qualified tax-exempt organization under 501c3. We now join Roundville and Greenwich Northeast communities that share that same status. Now, what that means for individuals is 100% of your contributions to the Greenwich Association are tax pull up to 50% of your adjusted gross income, but more importantly, donor-advised funds and charitable foundations can now contribute to OGA because they're usually restricted that they can only give to 501c3. So, in order to meet what we want to accomplish, we can now offer our donors financial incentive that we can never offer before. So that's my brief commentary. And Karen.
And that is, thank you. So we want you to understand, what we want you to understand is we're not spending money. We're out doing postcards, we're finding other ways to do it. We don't yet have to raise money, but come the time we have to start raising money at Syndicate for that, and we need a post office box, believe it or not. So we may come to that, and now we're set up to do it better. So we haven't had hands out for a long time, but I think 3-year horizon maybe for that. What?
Last fundraiser we had was 2018.
So we're doing okay. Okay, so we did that. So speakers, let's go. We have 9 speakers, and they get the regal. But Jill gets more. So DPW. Here you go.
So she told me I had more than 3 minutes.
It's true.
Just trying to be quick. No, my name is Jim Michael. I'm the new Commissioner of Public Works. I started this job 3 weeks ago or so. But before that, I was the Deputy Commissioner, so I'm not totally new to town. So that's, I have a good understanding. So next slide.
Get there, hold on. Hooked.
Yes, I got it.
What's that? There we go. So what is the Department of Public Works? The Department of Public Works works tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure critical infrastructure that keeps the town of Greenwich safe and running is always maintained and operating properly. So all the stuff that you don't want to think about, we take care of, basically. So next slide. So our mission statement in Public Works is to efficiently and effectively maintain and improve town infrastructure, including roads, buildings, storm drains, and sewers, while ensuring public safety and protecting the environment, provide services, building inspection, waste disposal, engineering that support a safe environment for residents. So that's really what Public Works does. Next slide. So we're made up of 6 different divisions. We have 155 full-time employees. We have administration is overseeing building construction and maintenance. So that runs all the over 116 town buildings. Building inspection. So if you're doing a new building or your neighbor's building something near you, we're having people come out and inspect that and do site reviews. Engineering, we do a lot of the designs of all of our projects. Highway, we plow the roads, pave the roads, pick up leaves, all that stuff. Sewer, it's pretty self-explanatory, but that takes care of what goes down the sinks and the toilets and goes to the wastewater treatment plant that's down at Grass Island. And then waste disposal is the dump or the Hollyhill transfer station. That's the official terminology for it, but that's where all the trash goes, all your recycling goes, and many other things we collect down there and send out for disposal. So next slide. So I split this up and I tried to emphasize Old Greenwich with some of the stuff with our recent projects and what we have coming up on the horizon. So next slide. So in the last year and a half, in 2023, as many of you are aware, we did a shore road sidewalk from Tomac to Sound Beach Avenue. And so that was a fairly successful project, we feel. And we're looking at moving forward on that. And I'll touch on that in a few minutes on the next phase of this. So Sound Beach. Okay. 2 bridges in your area. So the town has 83 bridges. A bridge is normally lasts 50 to 75 years. So as you can imagine, we're doing a bridge a year normally. These are our 2 most recent ones that we've done in your neighborhood. The Sound Beach Avenue Bridge, which is near the library there. And then the Westonwood Road Bridge, which takes Westonwood Road and it bisects Binney Park So these are two bridges that were in need of complete replacement, and that was what we did recently. So, next slide. So one of the things when we were doing the Sound Beach and Biddy Park Bridge, we heard a lot about was pedestrian safety. That Old Greenwich is definitely a pedestrian-friendly town, and we wanted to emphasize that. So in doing some improvements around Biddy Park, we installed what we call RRFBs, which is rectangular rapid flashing beacons. What is that? It's a fancy term for the flashing crosswalk signs. So if you've seen those, we've started implementing those throughout town in various locations. We did implement a number of them around Biddy Park, and we have received a additional request for one near the crosswalk that we just recently put in at Westcomewood Road. So we'll have to be going back through the planning and zoning process for that to obtain approval for that one, because it is in scenic loop road. We hope that everyone will support that request when we get to that point. So, next slide. Old Greenwich Common Force Main. This was a project where we have a force main that goes from the Old Greenwich sewer plant, or what used to be the Old Greenwich sewer plant. It's now the Old Greenwich pump station. It's on West End Avenue, all the way to our treatment plant on Grass Island. So the last stretch, which we did a couple of years ago, was on Oval Summit in that area. And we completed that, and then we did the repaving of that road and area this past year. So that's a project that we've completed. In addition, we're almost completed with we've got all the drainage pipe work done as part of doing the Cohen Eastern Greenwich Civic Center. We have done some improvements of Tomac Avenue, Harding, and Forest for some drainage work over in that stretch. What's that?
Twice.
So that work's been primarily complete, but they're in the process of they have to do the final pavement restoration work. They have a little bit of that left to do once the weather breaks in the spring, and then we'll be looking to repave those roads after that. So, Cohen Eastern Greenwich Civic Center, tentatively scheduled to open in March. So it's right around the corner. They're doing all the fine tuning pieces on that. They're getting everybody set up. They're doing the final interior, installing all the tables and chairs, all that type of stuff right now. So that's where we're at the moment. The building's substantially complete, and it's a great facility. Working to get that set and ready to open here in a couple months. So what are some of our upcoming projects? What do you foresee, what do we foresee happening over the next few years? So many of you may have heard about the Greenwich Stanford multi-use trail. This was a desire by members of the community to put in a multi-use trail connecting Biddy Park to Macusi Park in Stanford. That is we're just in the initial design process. We're collecting data associated with that, and we'll be coming out for a public meeting sometime later this year on what our proposed pathways are. This one has taken a little bit longer to get started than normal because there's grant funding. It's a combined project with us and Stanford. So between all of those factors, we've been trying to work out all the details of that. And so that it's been a little bit of a slower start than we were hoping for, but we're planning for later this year to have a lot more detail on that. So next slide. Short Walk Road Sidewalk Phase 2. We've completed some of the survey work. We're doing initial conceptual design to determine whether it's going to go on the, let's say, south or north, east or west, depending on which way you think. Many people don't realize that truly short road kind of mostly runs north and south. A lot of people think that because it's along and it runs parallel to the coastline that it is more east-west, but it truly is more north-south. But we're looking at which side of the road would be the best location to put that on, and then we'll be working with those neighbors in a couple instances where we may not have enough property to see if we can obtain any easements in order to be able to put the sidewalk on that side of the street. In addition, we're trying to determine is which, if any, obstructions are in the way in order to do that, whether they're trees, walls, signs, driveways, all kinds of fun stuff that we experience when we do these projects. So one thing that we try to remind everybody is, even though your grass may go right up to the edge of the road, you don't always own all the way up to the edge of the road. The town does sometimes own part of what a lot of people call their front yard. So that's always a fun conversation we get to have with people. We're going to be putting a sidewalk in your front yard. No, we're not putting it in your front yard. We're putting it on our property. And you're like, no, that's my front yard. So it's always something that we deal with. But we like to have those discussions and make sure that what we're providing to the community is a benefit to everyone. And that's what the goal of this project is, to see what we can do to get a continuation of that towards the beach. So those are things that are in the near future. Some projects that we see on the horizon. These are 4 different buildings that are in what we consider our 15-year plan that are in need of either modifications or full replacements. And we're still in the very preliminary stages of looking at where those are. So many people may not even know too much about these, but Old Greenwich Highway Shed, this is on West End Avenue, right near the tunnel, as many people say. It's where our highway guys go. It's where people drop their leaves, where we haul the leaves to during the leaf season. That building, it's in the flood zone. It's a very older building. It lacks, it has character, let's say that. I think this building has some character to it as well, which is another one that's on the list here. That one has plenty of character. But yeah, we definitely need to do some replacement there. The old Greenwich Park shed, that's down at the bottom of City Park, pretty much on the other side of the tracks from the building I just talked about. That one's also tends to be in the flood zone, and also is something that needs an overhaul at some point in the near future. So these are buildings that we will take into account, look into how we can best fit those uses into their locations, but also keep the character of the community. The Clam Bake restroom is a restroom that needs to be replaced. And then the South Beach Avenue Firehouse, we need to do a rehab of the building. This building is getting older and needs to be rehabbed. And so that's in the long-term plan for rehabilitation. So, slide. Old Greenwich Pump Station. This is the pump station that's right there on West End that I referred to earlier. We have a variety of different pump stations. These have many different challenges, but over time, they do need to be replaced. It's not very easy because we can't just tell everyone stop flushing. So we have to maintain them in place, maintain their operations. We have to make sure that while we're constructing these things, we're bringing them up to current standards, bringing them up to what we feel is acceptable service life. And so this is something that we have in the works. We have a few other pump stations that are in line in front of this one that we're working on right now. But this one is one that will be in the horizon probably in the next 5 years. So it's something that you'll see us do. So that's my plug for Public Works. Hopefully I was not too many more than 3 minutes, but my one plug will be that we are on social media. So feel free to, we have a little the QR code. We in Public Works are very in tune with the public in Greenwich, knowing that the community wants information. And so we actually have our own communications specialist. That's a permanent position, full-time position, communications related person that works strictly in Public Works. Without her, this slide presentation would have been a complete and total mess if I would have put it together. So she put this together for me. But follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, all those, and that will help us with that presence, help you understand. She tries to post things a couple times a week. She started a new thing called Fun Fact Friday, which will give you some info about what we do, variety of just interesting fun facts. So if you want to stay in touch with what we're doing in Public Works, even though it might not be overly exciting, it might be something you like. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you, John. And it is thank you to DPW that we have new signs. Did you see the new Greenwich signs down at the end of Shore and at the Summit Circle? Which on the other side now says welcome to Riverside, which is quite fancy. But we're thrilled. Thank you for those signs. Talked about those for a few years. Okay, so Patrick, Lindsay.
Right. I'm going to get you all excited about zoning in 3 minutes. As we stand here right in the village, first of all, thank you for everybody. Nice to see you. We are here sort of at a unique opportunity. Village district of Old Greenwich was approved this past year, and why that's important, it's the first village district that's ever been enacted without Greenwich. We've had a few fits and starts, but this is the first one to take it over the line, and most importantly, it was done with support of the community, or by residents of the community. So thank you, Candace, and Caroline, and Michael Carter. I hope he's here. So a little bit unique because we don't often get the volunteers of our community that write these things. It's usually the appointed staff or myself who have to try to help that, ingratiate everyone to the language, and we had a lot of help. So that was great. So thank you. Mark, this is the map of what the district is, and I'll talk about why that's important in a second. Village district is a zoning act that was enabled in 1998 that allowed communities to create design districts. It's different than a historic district. One, because the bar to enact it is a little lower. You don't have to have the age of structures you need with a lot of historic regulations, and also the consent that you need, because this is a zoning construct and not a property preservation concept. So a little bit different land use law, but it sounds similar, but it's not. Zoning wise, what it allows is communities to create district, define it, its characteristics, its landscaping, its spatial geography, and sort of its essential character that makes it unique, and try to enact regulations that describe that and preserve it. And that sounds somewhat easy, but it's incredibly difficult. So the reason why it's important is because right now zoning regulations don't have an architectural component. There is not the force of law that we have to say you have to have a certain style of building, you have to have a certain architectural window to it, and those type of districts. And so this zoning district that we've created allows for that. And so there is a generous but direct hand about what the look of the community is and how we want to preserve it. The boundary itself is, by and large, it's a business district. I'm not going to try to describe it as that. It does extend a little bit to the east and west into what are typically residential zones, but have non-residential activities going on. The building behind us here is one to the north, all the way to the post office, which is over in this area, up of the tracks to the train station and those commercial businesses above there. So what it does is it establishes the zone, establishes the criteria. Strangely, way 2 minutes. I'll drone on for another minute. allows the community to designate a qualified individual to review that. And that's generally somebody who's in the design trade, architect, planner, engineer, so historian, those type of people have a flair for design. And luckily our ARC is equipped with those individuals and are taking up the responsibility for reviewing it. The process looks very similar to what it is now. You have an ARC. We generally refer all commercial properties to them for changes to the exteriors and sides. Now there'll be a little bit more criteria involved with that. They'll go to ARC first, and then they will go to the Planning and Zoning Commission for final site plan approval, which just closes the box and makes that a zoning decision as opposed to a non-binding architectural review decision. Generally it's interesting, and one that we've created is that we have some contextual ideas. One is keeping the consistent height of buildings. There's a limit to expanding northward or vertically, no more than 10 feet from existing buildings. So that's a little bit of a clamp that we don't typically have now. Right now we have a consistent height of around 35 feet. That may not be applicable to all properties, but most of the two-story buildings would be in that range. And then it talks a lot about the visual storefront and the way that Old Greenwich is starting to be developed. Doors, windows on the street, mullions are these divided lights that we have here. No ribbons of glass, no new modern clean aesthetic, because that's contrary to the historic design. So it's a new dawn here. It's exciting. It's something that we hope other villages in town want to enact their own, because it doesn't have to look like this. It can be respected and responsible to the areas that in other parts of town that have obviously a different aesthetic, but also have different complications. And that's really it. And thank you again.
And that leads us to Marching Waters.
Sharing that so much.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for giving me a few minutes to chat to you today. I'll definitely keep under the 3 minutes. So my name is Martin Waters, 20-year resident of Old Greenwich. I know many of you by face. Thank you all for being here tonight, because it shows that you care about our community. I'm here on behalf of the ownership group of a group that recently acquired an estate that was formerly known as the Nolan Estate. You may or may not be familiar with what that is, but it's a very important asset for Old Greenwich, because the Nolan Estate, as it was named, comprises 17 shops in our community, 17 offices, 10 apartments, and 5 warehouses. So when this asset became available for sale at the back end of last year, myself and some friends at other people in town decided it would be important for us to have a voice in what happens to that important asset. And so we put an ownership group together to buy the asset and to ensure that it's controlled rather than by a faceless corporation who none of us know, by people who live in Old Greenwich, care about Old Greenwich, and have the interests of Old Greenwich at heart. So we've started our work already. I'm delighted to say we have 100% occupancy in all of the shops, no empty units. What does having a good asset in Old Greenwich look like? No empty units. It means having offices that are a pleasure to go into, that are bright and cheerful and safe. And so we've started the renovation of offices on Arcadia Road. And we've already renovated 5 of the 10 apartments to just improve the overall standard of housing that's available in town. So it's going quite well. We're 4 months into our ownership. We plan to be in this for a very, very long time. I describe it as a generational asset, and we intend to be here for at least a generation. Most important, perhaps, Patrick, you'll be pleased to know this, we have absolutely no plans to change the facade on Sandwich Avenue or on the side street opposite Kings. No plans to do that whatsoever. The buildings look terrific. They're in great shape. They just need to be maintained. The previous owner was under-investing in the asset, and we will change that. So as you go behind the apartments, you'll notice it's not great back there. There's definitely opportunity to upgrade that over time, and that's the sort of thing that we'll be focusing on. So hopefully that gives you enough information about what's going on with Old Greenwich real estate. If any of you need an office in town, reach out to my partner, Richard Saunders. I'd be happy to rent one. And of course, we hope that all of our retail tenants will
We want the retailers to stay in business. So that's our mission, to make it better. Thank you.
Well, which actually makes me think, Pat, do you mind just saying a word about Old Greenwich Merchants Association? Hi, everybody. Association, very happy, pleased that we were able to pull off this project of lighting the city here in Old Greenwich. And I have to say, as I'm sitting here looking out the window, I'd love to see the sparkle. So thank you to all of those who donated to us, to the landlords who gave us permission to carry out all this wiring. And it was a very rewarding project. Some Rich Fulton, Marcos, Marno, and Jay Feinstein all really spent hours and hours and days, to make it happen. So thank you all for your contribution. Much appreciated, and enjoy. It's really a labor of love, sometime in making, so we're so grateful, and thank you. Next, we have James Waters for the OGS Building Committee.
Okay, good evening. My name is James Waters. I am an RTM member in District 12. Some of you may know I'm the chair of the Budget Review Committee on the RTM. But here tonight, I'm here in my other role, which is chairman of the Old Greenwich School Building Committee. I'm going to start by reminding you, 2 years ago, I came and talked to this gathering and relayed at the time that our design funding had been not included in the budget, which was going to delay the project. Thanks to a lot of people in this room, we have corrected that. And I'm here tonight to tell you that this project is fully funded and will be starting this summer. So a quick reminder on the scope. The scope of this project is we're going to preserve the iconic Old Greenwich School. We are going to bring it into compliance with the 2010 ADA standards. It's about time. That involves a lot of work. It's not just an elevator. It's ramps, it's a front entry, it's door widths, bathrooms, a lot of stuff. Single secure entryway will be a result of that. We're going to do building-wide sprinkler systems and HVAC. We're going to address the sewer problems and some drainage issues around the building. Replace some old roofing, a new kindergarten addition to replace some of the spaces that we've lost, and do a new playground, which will have an interior courtyard as well. There will be some abatement and demolition work. And this is going to be a phased occupied renovation. So that means that we are going to carry on school while this is ongoing. I'm going to explain to you how. Next slide. Okay. On the left, this is all the things that have happened since I was here 2 years ago. The project does have full funding approval. The RTM approved our contingency funds last week. We have all zoning approvals. We spent a lot of time with Patrick and Margarita. They blessed our plan. We've completed all the design phases and project estimates. We have a construction phasing plan. We've had 13 forums, including several of you have attended some of those. We do have 100% construction documents. Long lead items have been bid, and we are on the state's priority list for this year. We still have work to do, a lot of it, in fact. So we are in the middle of trying to finish our what's called the state's pre-bid conformance review, which is a required step before we can take the project out to bid. I'm hoping to hear that we're done with that any day now. Project out to bid next month. Guaranteed maximum price sometime in April. And then we're going to start. Now, I do have a little bit of a look at what the phase occupied timing looks like. So you can see that this summer we're going to be starting on the addition and some renovations to the music and art room and some of the mechanical spaces. That's going to take quite some time, especially the addition around back. It's not going to be done till summer 2026. We want it operational in fall of 2026. Then we're going to move on to the cafeteria, kitchen, and gymnasium. There will be some impact on voting in terms of primary election, if there is one, in the summer of 2026. We've already communicated with the registrar of voters, so they're tracking on that, and we'll figure that out. That'll be well communicated. Then we're going to move into the big building itself. We're going to go from left to right as you're looking at it from the street, and it's going to take a while, right? So I'm hopeful that 3 years from tonight, I will be able to come and tell you it's done. So that's our objective, on time, on budget. Okay. Next slide. This is a bit of just a graphic that shows some of those dates that I articulated. You'll see the colors. We're going to go top left to top right, and we're going to start at the bottom left and go over to the bottom right. Okay. Next slide. All right. What to expect going forward. So we're working right now on a communications dashboard that we can have on our website. If you ever had a question what's going on, you can go there and find out what's going on in real time. There will be construction fences going up this spring, so expect it. It'll be around back. There will be a groundbreaking ceremony. We're working through the exact date right now. The playground, in case your kids or grandkids like to go on there, it will be out of commission this summer. You should expect that. Sorry to tell you, but I'll be happy to tell you that there will be a nice brand new playground this fall. There will be some impact to fields, baseball, that kind of thing. We're talking to Parks and Rec about that. Make sure that is all well deconflicted. Do not expect massive changes overnight. Phased occupied renovation. It's going to take about 32 months. So it'll take time. Fortunately, we have a phenomenal building committee that is going to continue to oversee this project, and we're going to see it through. Safety, safety, safety. There's going to be nothing more important for us than making sure this whole thing is done safely. And there's a lot of protocols that we're going to follow. We've hired the team to be able to execute on that. And there'll be no top guard. And if you don't remember anything else that I said tonight, just know you can reach out and contact me there. That's my email address. That comes to me directly. You can reach out anytime you see a problem, you have a suggestion, whatever it is, just let me know anytime. And I believe that's it.
Thank you, sirs. So about 15 minutes left. Good. 5 more speakers. Happy? Okay. So Pete, kick it off with the chip chuds. So Friends of Binney Park and Pete Urey, Old Greenwich Award recipient.
Evening, everybody. So I'm going to quickly tell you the Friends of Binney Park is alive and well. We had a meeting in this room last week, and if you think of friendsofbinneypark.org and go to that, then you'll find we had a video. It was had to be done by Mark Craig. Thank you for that. The panel was the most important thing we did, moderated by Janet Wiggum here, and Jim Michaels was part of that. I don't see anyone else who was on that panel. What we're talking about is the protection of our parks. Oh, I forgot Patrick. Patrick wasn't here.
No, I was in spirit.
He wasn't here, but Andrew had his voice.
Don't forget Andrew.
And Andrew, there you are. Okay, sorry.
It's right.
Then the camera there. Okay. So what we're talking about is that all of our parks need a certain degree of protection against sort of abuse of use. We put it that way. And they all have a particular character. Binney Park, which we're responsible for, is 90 years old. It has a very clean feeling. We're blessed by the fact the south end of it, we have sporting opportunities. The north end is passive. We have a hillside annex, which represents an interesting opportunity we're going to pursue this year as one of our projects. That being, we have daffodils up there. We've got 10,000 daffodils on the hill. But we're going to start to replace some of the rhododendrons and azaleas and other native plants that Mrs. Binney had back in the 1930s. And there's some historic character there. I think most of you are somewhat aware of across from the library is a 10-acre woodland. That's part of Binney Park. Trying to get into it when you cross the road from Binney Park is a bit of a challenge because it's a bit of a wetland. And so we're addressing that particular issue. And we also have Greg Kramer, our tree warden and superintendent of parks and trees, working with us to add to the second generation of trees for that. That's the kind of thing we're doing. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're going to be very careful how Jim Michael replaces that shed in the south end. And that's fine and dandy. And all our parks need that, by the way. We came to this panel meeting last week because of what happened down in Bruce with the pedestrian bridge. And people sort of spoke up and said that was not particularly appropriate. So I've given you just a little snippet of what we do. How many are we? After 2 years, we're 300 people. We have a little money in the bank. I'm proud to say we are the largest marketer of toy stuffed turtles in the town of Old Greenwich. And with that, I'm just going to turn it back.
That's the that was and in keeping, Jane, please, from the Friends of Greenwich Free Press. Thank you.
Hi, thank you. I'm Jane Kiesel. I'm president of Friends of Greenwich Point, one of the other parks. We are also alive and well. Thank you all. Many of your members have donated to us. We had a great event on Saturday, working to support the 1st June with recycled Christmas trees. We had 40 volunteers. Parks Department came out and gave us, I think, 6 or 8 guys and a lot of supervision and trucks. Made it an easy and fun community project. We are launching a new website tonight. It's the old one. So it'll be a lot easier for the community to use. We're going to have vine cutting and work on taking some of the invasives out of the park. As you get said, Peter, about your park, we have a lot of invasives, things that aren't native. Winter time is the time to take them out. We are lucky that we have a budget to replace areas where things come out. Last year we planted, I think about 25 or 30 native trees and over 80 shrubs in the park. But we have a thriving education program. The baby animals will be coming to Hannah's Arden Cottage in May, and other things that we've done with the Conservation Commission throughout the summer. And our concert series is in the works. Check out the website for that. That is pretty much it.
Amazing what you do.
Thank you all.
And Shar, us, yep, for the scarf of the Old Greenwich. I should miss for these people, right?
I'm Shar, and I have lived here for 33 years, I think. And I've been a member of the Garden Club of Old Greenwich for 20 years. And this year we are finishing up celebrations for our 100-year anniversary. And we were in Old Greenwich before Old Greenwich was Old Greenwich. We've been here for a really long time. We've been a big part of the community. We really appreciate everything that everyone does. For ourselves, right now, we work a lot with the Perot Library. We have a seed launch coming up for the seed library that they keep there. We have a Zoom talk coming up on February 19th about the Mianus River Gorge and preserving it. And also we have juniors programs at the Perot Library where we teach little children about the joys of gardening and making things in nature. And as well as that, we have a couple of programs with a group we call Growing Together. And that is working out with seniors in the community. So we have been doing a lot. And we also, in our community, we take care of all of the containers in our appropriately designated village. And also a lot of the gardens here, including the one in front of here. So we have been really involved. We love this place. And we have a couple more things coming up. We're very excited that this year in our containers, we have planted 900 tulip bulbs and all the containers, and well, they'll be fine. And also we have our plants are coming out, which is a great point for us to meet people in the community and for us to share our knowledge with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And Darren to talk about 395, you feel that the church, but important.
I'm just Carolyn. Hi, Darren Schneider. I was a board member here for the last 7 years, and just helped me out with a very, very, very small project called IMB5. So, Mark, yeah, let me get that.
Go right ahead, right?
Go one more chair. Yep. Let me get to that screen. Hold on. There we go.
So as you know, the I-95 project is fairly massive. It's the Connecticut Department of Transportation, and dealing with them is like getting a photograph with the Pope at the Sistine Chapel at the Vatican on a Sunday. I all know Vatican's on a Sunday, the photographs in Sistine Chapel, and Pope has a 10-year waiting list. But with the strength of you and the OGA, believe it or not, they're pretty receptive. Not to everything that we do, but they are very receptive. So 7 miles of I-95, 7 exit ramps, 7 entrance ramps, it's a massive bridge, and they're even looking at some of the issues on US Route 1 as well. So it's a fairly substantive project. I would say probably 8 years. Mark, slide it. So it's 4 phases of this. So we're about right here. So they're really identifying all the noise levels, which is the number one issue with I-95. Once this phase is done, which is almost done, they're going to validate, identify, and then consider so the noise abatement measures. You know, as wonderful people that we all are, we're very eager to just go right down to the consider the measures and abatement measures. I'm blue side patients as I get older. But the good news is that I have to say this study, even though it's longer than we ever anticipated, they are really going into each and every nook and cranny and reaching out to every organization in Greenwich, which is pretty impressive. So I have to give them that. I think there's like 12 other associations like us in Greenwich, by the way. All are represented, all of them are attending to its meetings as well, including myself. Yep. So what they have done so far is they, believe it or not, into 1,598 residences after they've been trying to check noise there. They just to give you a sense, the noise abatement criteria is 67 decibels, kind of fairly low. Okay. Most rap music is listened to like 90 decibels. No, just kidding. But 67 decibels. So they've been taking this across these 16. There's 16 really bullet points on the 7 miles of I-95. And Mark, you flip over. These are the 16 sections. So what's even nice is within each 16 sections, each one has a certain zone, there's 16 zones, and they are going into each and every household, which is within 500 feet on the north side and the south side, and taking proper noise abatement measurements, these aids there. So just some of the sites out of the 16, you probably recognize Rockmere Avenue, that's by the train station, and then 50 Greenwich Lane. There's the J House with Tony, and there's other sections of some of the heavy equipment that is brought at these noise measurement sites. On those 16 zones, here's one zone for Old Greenwich. There's the exit 5 thing. And if you probably can't see this, but they've actually identified every single house, which from like 500 feet to 1,500 feet away from the highway. And the red ones, I don't know if you can see it, but the red ones there's a serious issue there. The yellow ones, it really doesn't approach the 7 decibels. But there's clearly red all over here, this is north. And then this is south. So here's Sound Beach. This is all on the website too, by the way. But this is right by exit 5. And then Mark, flip the next one. This is more red here on I-95. And here's your Block meter. And there's Ferris Drive, Manor Road. So this is right here in the heart of Old Greenwich. So the overall project's schedule right here, obviously, is they've already collected and analyzed lots of data. They're identifying, they're drafting preliminary things. We're going to hit, the screening concept, and then, the final study will be done in June of 2026. So yes, I know a study for taking 3.5 years, but I have to admit, I don't know what it is working for the Connecticut Department of Transportation, but they have been fairly, you actually can email them. Believe that, you can even call them the phones, and all. So it's fairly interesting in that regard. So this was a slide ahead. I have no clue what it said. Winters to be determined next. So the most important thing is there's a website for this, www.i95greenwich.com. This is on our website as well. There's even a phone number. I told you they'll pick up the phone. And then there's also an email address. So that's all I have to report today.
And most importantly, quoting from Joe for the firehouse. Where's Joe's other news? So our last speaker.
And then I'll make the pickleball announcement.
Oh, pickle. Do you have the slide?
Yeah, you want to put the slide up? Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to
do that for? Yeah, we can.
The pickleball announcement?
Yes. Oops. Come on, Mouse.
So, you.
And work was on the thing.
So there are 4 new pickleball courts being planned at the Civic Center. And it's not going to that's not double negative. So it will be fine for the neighbors, for parking and sound, and this will be good for our community. And you can contact the BET to let them know how you feel about it for their budget meeting on the 28th.
Just tomorrow.
Which is tomorrow.
So if you like pickleball contact, yeah.
Pardon?
If you like pickleball contact, then
Yes.
I guess, yeah.
No, it's true. Budget. Joe?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Shit. And it's up.
Oh, this should be that. That's something that's project I can just go out. Well,
Good evening. I'm Joe. I'm the district chief down here for the fire station. I'm here on behalf of the emergency manager this evening, who is celebrating his birthday with his family, and would not be allowed to skip that. So you get to deal with me. I'm here to discuss a new emergency alerting setup for the town of Greenwich, which is through Everbridge, and you can receive emergency alerts to your cell phone, to your email. They can call your home phone. You can set up areas that you want alerts for. Say your parents or children live in a separate area of town. You can set them up wherever you want. And other than that, I really don't have any more information. Besides, you guys can take this pamphlet and sign up for them. I believe we have about 1,000 people signed up now. We would like to increase that number and hopefully get the rest of the town of Greenwich involved. So yes, you can reach out to all the media. So I'm going to leave a pile of information up here. There's just flyer with all sorts of information on how to sign up. And other than that, that's all I have. So.
So that's us. We have our new mission. So hopefully you're going to latch on to that and let us know if you want to participate. We'll definitely know about the book drive. That's exciting. And I thank you so much. And I also want to congratulate Candace one more time.
I'm Paul Hurters. I was the race for 4 decades. And I know daughter from bring family and writing friends who goes to Grad School. That's
And my
okay. I'm an advisor to various states and municipalities and counties and the equivalents on FEMA grants. There are 2 FEMA grants that are focused on what FEMA refers to as repentant loss properties. There are 88 of those properties in Oak-Ridge. There's an outreach meeting at the Stanford Government Center on February 11th between 6 and 8. And there will be notices going out to the people who are repentant loss property owners, maybe some here. Connecticut has been inactive in making advantage of those grants. Last year, Westcott had a breakthrough, modest breakthrough, but still a breakthrough compared to the rest of community, compared to Illinois. They were successful in having 7 grants selected by FEMA, 6 elevations in Westport, Darien, and Stanford, and 1 acquisition. So if you're a repentant loss property owner, I suggest that you come to that meeting and learn more. Maybe if you've dealt with FEMA in the town of Greenwich in the past, it's really a new story. So that's all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you for coming.